Because you know why? When you're walking with God, nothing else matters. But when you start walking afar off, you begin to see the stuff that's between you and God. And it begins to get your attention. And the further you get back away from God, that's more of the world that's in between you and Christ. And the further you get, the more of the world you see, and the more that it attracts you, the more it gets your mind off the things of God. And the further you get back, the worse it gets every day that you try to walk with Him. You get further and further and further back. You can still see Him, and you say that you still got your eye. You still coming to church. You still coming to Sunday school. You still coming and doing what God that maybe wants you think God wants you to do, but you're just not walking as close as you once was with Him. You don't study as much for your Sunday school lesson. You don't study as much for your message. It ain't as important to you as it once was. Buddy, when you get up and you lead that music, buddy, I believe, brother, you've blessed my heart this week. The zeal you got in leading the music.
Yeah, brother.
The testimony you have. Don't lose that. Don't lose it. The way you lose it, just get a little back off of God. Buddy, I believe you pray over what songs it needs to be sung. I believe you spend God on it, with God with it. You want God in it. You want God to give the blessing. If you could do it behind the wall, you do it behind the wall. Just so Jesus can be glorified. But when you start following Him afar off, all this worldly stuff, you begin to see it. Pride goes to jumping up. You want people to pat you on the back. You want you to say, what a great job you're doing, instead of, but when you're walking with Jesus, you just want them to see Jesus. You don't want them to see you. I don't want to be a great preacher. I don't want to be a great preacher. I don't want to pastor a church with 10,000. I don't want to be an evangelist and preach 52 revivals a year. I don't want to be a missionary and go to all the big foreign mission fields and preach in the big cities and all. I just want to walk beside Jesus. I just want to do what He wants me to do. I hope that everybody in here forgets my name, but don't forget a message that's been brought.
Amen.
I care less whether you remember my name. All I want you to remember the message that's been brought from God. But He followed it far off. Then I want you to look at verse 55. And it said, and they kindled a fire in the midst of the hall, and were set down together. And Peter sat down among them. This was the world, my friends. This was the ones that was watching and waiting on Christ to be crucified. They kindled a fire. This fire wasn't the fire that like Philip had, like Paul had when he laid the sticks on that we preached on Monday night. This was a fire waiting for the crucifixion of our Lord Jesus Christ, or waiting for the trial, for Pilate to bring Him out and then give Him the trial. And He sat down amongst them. You know what He done? He started fellowshipping with a lost world.
Yeah.
He started fellowshipping with the people that wanted Christ to be dead. Did you know there's people in Jay, Florida, there's people in this world today that wants Christ dead all over again? They don't want His Spirit to move. They don't want to be bothered with God at all. They may not come out and tell you that, but don't action speak louder than words, as Granny, as Meemaw used to say. They care less about the things of God. They use His name in vain. Boy, that burns me up. He died for me. Don't you cuss Him. Don't you cuss Him. He died for me. He died for them too, if they'd only realize it. But here He came to where He sat down and fellowship with a lost world. He was following. He quit praying. He quit believing the Word. He started walking afar off. And the next thing you see Him, in the next place you see Him, He's in fellowship with the world. So you can't fellowship with darkness and light. You can't fellowship with both of them. Now, I'm not saying you're supposed to go out and you're supposed to be ugly, you're supposed to be mean, you don't supposed to talk to nobody's lost. Don't you come in this building and outside these buildings and tell them I said that. But I'm going to tell you this, I can look at your best friend and I can tell you what you are outside of these four walls. I can look at your best friend and I can tell you what you are. Here He sat down among them and started, buddy? He just sat down in the fire and began to fellowship with them. He was hiding in the world. You ever done it? I have. I hid in the world. I went back and started fellowshipping with people that I shouldn't have fellowshiped with. I started doing the things I shouldn't do. Backslidden out of the will of God. Then hurrying on, look at what he says here in verse 56. And it said, a certain maid. But a certain maid beheld him as he sat by the fire. Look how far he done got down. He done sat down among them. Now he done moved up to the fire. He done started enjoying the things of the world. Here was one buddy that walked with Christ. Here's one that talked with Christ. Here's the one that seen the miracles of Christ. Here's the one that walked on water. Here's the one that had seen just so many spiritual movements of God that it was blessed. And son, I mean, God had stirred him. God had used him in great and many ways. But here he's already come to the place that he began to enjoy the things of the world. There's one thing tolerating the things of the world. But there's another thing enjoying the things of the world. But here it was Peter had done come up, done slipped up, done sat down by the fire of the world and began to enjoy it. Hey, we said it last night. Sin's a pleasure for a season. God, when he says that, he's talking to Christians. That sin can be a pleasure for sin. Here, old Peter had come to the place that, hey, what's better, for me to go to the cross on him or for me to sit here with these folks and enjoy their lives?
Yep.
You ever been there?
Sure I have.
Since you've been saved, have you been to where you enjoy the things of the world? I have.
I have.
I want to tell you something, folks. The saddest part, I've told y'all this, the worst thing about it all is I knew I was saved. And begin to enjoy the things of the world. Be a partaker of the things of the world. I don't have to stand up here and name sins. My friends, the Holy Ghost is done doing it. If you've ever been backslidden. Then listen to what he says here. In verse 57, and he denied. Oh, have mercy. He denied. The first denial of Peter. See, when you begin to enjoy the things, when you begin to quit praying and quit talking to God, and you begin to follow him afar off, and you begin to enjoy the things of the world, you deny him. You might not do it here, but you do it with your walk. You do it with your lifestyle. If you don't live for Christ, you know something other? You're living against Christ. And you're denying Christ. If you have somebody, a friend, a neighbor, or whoever to come over, and they sit down and they have a problem, and you don't pray for them and with them, you know what you're doing? You're letting them think there's a better way than prayer. So you're denying that prayer can help them. You're denying that God can help them. If you have a lost person to come sit down and they got a problem, I don't care if it's a marriage problem, I don't care if it's a child problem, I don't care if it's a financial problem, if you don't tell them about Christ, you are denying Christ. You're telling them there's another way that they can have help and a better way that they can have help other than Jesus. Well, you need to quit denying. Here Peter, he went on, he denied. That was his first denial. That's his first denial, and then he goes on. And it says, after a little while, another saw him. I want you to look at this. And thou art also of them.